During World War II, nearly 78,000 American and Filipino soldiers defending the Philippines were surrendered to the Japanese after a conflict in 1942. Those captured were forced to march more than 65 miles without food or water. Along the way, many were shot and tortured before reaching a confinement camp. Roughly 11,000 died during the trek known as the Bataan Death March. Those who lived past the march faced further starvation, disease, murder, maltreatment during the next 3 years in captivity. It is estimated that more than 60% of these prisoners of war did not survive. The conflict hit home for many in the state of New Mexico, as 1,800 of the POWs were locals from the 200th and 515th Coast Artillery New Mexico National Guard. To honor these veterans, thousands gather each year in White Sands, New Mexico for the Bataan Memorial Death March Marathon. My name is Staff Sergeant Kenneth Holt from the 27th Special Operations Security Forces Squadron at Cannon Air Force Base, New Mexico, and I participated in the Bataan Memorial Death March Marathon. The terrain it's kind of everything. It's concrete, it's pavement, there's roads on certain parts, it goes up and down, in and out of the mountains, loose sand, and by loose sand I mean almost like beach sand. It was a rough course, to say the least. During the marathon, I participated in the military heavy category. Military heavy means you carry a minimum of a 35-pound rucksack and you have to complete it in uniform. 36 pounds is what I ended up finishing with, and it was very rough, very rough. The last 4 miles are probably the worst of the entire thing. It's something to be proud of that you finished 26.2 miles, 36-pound pack in under 9 hours. When I saw mile 26, I was just grateful to be there because I knew that the end wasn't far off. We were approaching the end of the march quickly, and I couldn't wait because I was in a lot of pain. What I went through on the death march does not even compare to what those men experienced. They didn't have water, they didn't have food, and we had all of those things at our disposal. We were changing socks every 4 or 5 miles or so. We were making sure we were eating plenty of food and drinking plenty of water, and I was still becoming dehydrated, and I was drinking water nonstop. So I can't even imagine how incredibly horrid it was for them. I believe that the marathon is a fantastic way to show respect for what happened to these men overseas years and years back. It gives people that participate just a small glimpse of what they might have encountered or experienced during the actual death march. The conflict wasn't very well known. The veterans that were there, a lot of them think that they were forgotten about, that they were overlooked, so to speak. But this death march, it shows the survivors that are still here and still alive that they're not forgotten. What they went through isn't forgotten, and it's celebrated and appreciated, and we thank them for their service. And that's why there was almost 6,000 people at White Sands this weekend.